A newer car isn't always an easier car to live with. A low seat, poor visibility, touchscreen controls, or the wrong automatic gearbox can make an apparently sensible purchase tiring and expensive. So we narrowed the British used car market down to 7 automatics available for around £10,000 or less. Make everyday driving easier. Each one had to be easy to get into, easy to see out of, smooth in traffic, and sensible to run. But we're not recommending every version. With one popular model, the engine and gearbox combination matters far more than the badge on the bonnet. And our winner isn't the newest or the most stylish car here. It simply gets the important things right more consistently than the others. We'll begin with the smallest car on our list, £9,000, easiest. Although later, low mileage is the second generation Hyundai i10, specifically the 1.2-litre petrol with the traditional 4-speed automatic. It isn't quick, and it certainly isn't exciting. But around town, that matters far less than its compact size, light steering, and smooth behavior at low speeds. Unlike some small cars fitted with an automated manual, this feels like a proper automatic. You select drive, release the brake, and it moves away without the awkward pause that can make slow traffic frustrating. A 2017 SE automatic is probably the sweet spot. It gives you air conditioning, cruise control, Bluetooth, and DAB radio, while keeping the price close to our £10,000 limit. There is a compromise. The 4-speed gearbox uses more fuel than the manual and can make the engine sound busy at motorway speeds. Before buying, check that the air conditioning works, inspect the rear brakes, and make sure the gearbox is smooth from cold. For mostly urban driving, the i10 is simple and reassuring, but it remains number 7 because several cars ahead offer more space, easier access, or lower running costs. If the i10 feels a little too small, don't dismiss the list just yet. Number 5 offers noticeably more room and much easier access, without forcing you into an expensive SUV. Before we move to the larger cars, number 6 is the Kia Picanto, 1.25 automatic, from the earlier part of the generation launched in 2017. It shares a lot with the Hyundai i10, so it's a completely different idea. The Picanto earns the higher position because it feels slightly newer inside, has more direct steering, and remains very easy to place in a narrow street or car park. Look for the 1.25-litre petrol with the traditional 4-speed automatic, ideally in 2 trim. A good 2019 example can still fit inside our £10,000 budget. But don't confuse it with later Picantos using an automated manual gearbox. They do not provide the same driving experience. The Picanto's compromises are a firmer ride, more engine noise, and fairly ordinary fuel economy. On a test drive, use a rough road, check the air conditioning, listen for interior rattles, and confirm that the rear fog lamp warning recall has been completed. It is an excellent city car, but at number 5, we leave city cars behind for something taller, roomier, and easier to step into. That taller and roomier car is the Kia Venga, ideally a facelifted 1.6-litre petrol automatic from around 2016 to 2018. The Venga is here for one very specific reason. It removes effort from ordinary journeys. The doors open wide, the seating position is upright, visibility is good, and you don't have to lower yourself into it as you would with many conventional hatchbacks. The rear seats also slide, allowing you to choose between more passenger room and a larger boot. A good 2017 automatic generally sits close to £9,000, although later low-mileage examples can exceed our budget. This is not a perfect car. The performance is leisurely, the cabin feels dated, and fuel economy is less impressive than its modest size suggests. On a test drive, make sure the 6-speed automatic selects drive and reverse promptly, shifts cleanly from cold, and doesn't hesitate at low speed. The Venga earns 5th place because it is genuinely easy to use. But the next car is more dependable and cheaper to run, so why doesn't it reach our top 3? The answer is the Toyota Auris Hybrid, preferably a facelifted Icon or Business Edition from around 2015 to 2018. This is not a small car trying to feel larger than it is. It is a straightforward family hatchback with a 1.8-litre petrol-electric drivetrain and Toyota's ECVT. Around town, it moves away quietly, creeps smoothly through traffic, and asks very little of the driver. There are no conventional gear changes to interrupt the progress, and urban fuel economy can be excellent. Good later examples still appear below £10,000. But the cheapest Auris hybrids need careful checking because some have covered very high mileages in private hire work. Inspect the service and MOT history, ask for a hybrid battery health report, and start the engine completely cold. Warning lights, a violent rattle, or an unclear history should end the viewing. So, why only 4th? Because the Auris is extremely easy to drive, but it is not as effortless to get into as the Venga. And when you accelerate hard, the engine can become noticeably loud. 4 cars in, and the most obvious choices still haven't appeared. Our final 3 include one of the easiest cars here to get in and out of, the model we would choose for low fuel costs, and the best all-rounder in the entire list. But they solve 3 very different problems. So the right answer depends on how and where you actually drive. Which matters most to you? Easier access, lower fuel costs, or greater comfort on longer journeys? Tell us in the comments. Number 3 is the Kia Soul. Its styling divides opinion, but that square, upright shape is exactly why it works. Look for an early second-generation car, usually from 2014 or 2015, with the 1.6-litre CRDI diesel and 6-speed conventional automatic. The chair-like seat, wide-opening doors, and tall windows make it unusually easy to enter and position. The cabin is roomy, the controls are simple, and examples often sit well below £10,000. The trade-offs are a firm ride on larger wheels and a diesel engine that needs regular, longer journeys. Repeated short trips can cause problems for the particulate filter. Check the steering recall was completed, listen for noises behind the dashboard, and test the gearbox from cold. The Soul earns 3rd place because few cars here are easier to step into. But number 2 should cost less to fuel, and one compromise keeps it from winning. The Toyota Yaris Hybrid is at its best where many cars are at their worst. Slow, stop-start traffic. Look for a facelifted 1.5-litre hybrid from around 2017 to 2019, preferably in Icon or Design trim. At low speeds, it can move away quietly on electric power. The steering is light, there are no conventional gear changes, and the ECVT makes crawling through traffic remarkably simple. Good examples still fit inside our £10,000 budget, and this should be one of the cheapest cars here to fuel, particularly if most of your driving is in town. But don't buy one on Toyota's reputation alone. Check for a complete service history, ask for evidence of a hybrid health check, and confirm that all recall work has been completed. So, what keeps it from winning? The ride can feel unsettled, the engine becomes noisy under hard acceleration, and the boot is less useful than the one in our winner. The Yaris saves fuel. Number 1 makes everyday life easier in more ways. Before we reveal it, remember that the easiest car to own is not always the one with the lowest fuel bill. Our winner uses a little more petrol than the Yaris, but it gives you better visibility, more adaptable space, and one of the cleverest interiors in any small car. And number 1 is the Honda Jazz, specifically the 1.3-litre iVTEC with the CVT, ideally in SE trim from around 2017 to 2019. It doesn't win every category. The Yaris should use less fuel in town. The Venga feels more upright. And the Soul may be easier for some drivers to step into. The Jazz wins because it asks you to make fewer compromises every day. It is compact enough for narrow streets and car parks, but the cabin feels much larger than the exterior suggests. The 354-litre boot is already useful, and Honda's magic seats can fold flat or lift their bases upwards when you need to carry something tall. The CVT is smooth in traffic, the forward view is clear, and the controls are straightforward. Current examples can still be found below £10,000, particularly in SE trim. There is one weakness. The 102 PS engine is perfectly adequate, but strong acceleration can make it sound busy, especially on a motorway. Before buying, start it from cold. Make sure the CVT pulls away smoothly. Examine the service history and check the registration for outstanding recalls. Some 2017 cars were included in a fuel pump recall, so confirmation that the work was completed matters. The Jazz is not the most exciting car here. It is simply the one that makes the most sense, most of the time. The Jazz is not the most exciting car here. It is simply the one that makes the most sense, most of the time. For the lowest fuel costs, choose the Yaris Hybrid. For easier access, look at the Venga or the Soul. But for the best overall balance, our choice is the Honda Jazz. If this saved you time, money, or a bad purchase, give it a like and subscribe.